Happy Easter. How y'all doing? Welcome to Island Metal Forge, Forgin with Yamez. Yeah, I've had that piece in the forge for about 45 minutes, and I think it's almost there. The goal is, it's the octopus, and the goal I'm going for today is, bending all the legs out. So it's going to be bending the legs out. Hopefully I can do that in one heat to save my gas, which I do have my oxyacetylene rosebud set up so that I can spark it and, do any tweaks that I need to. Basically today I am aiming for even spread, in a radial way so that they're not all, two or closer or whatever. Trying to get it as even as possible. So to the chat. Steven, first in. What's up, Hubcap? Mr. Maker, Shane Lalonde, Burnt Mushroom Blacksmithing. How you doing? George Anderson, I like that name. George Anderson, John Burnell. John Burnell, you need to be in every morning show because they are vastly superior shows. What's up, Mr. Woodring? Ben Toombs, Deranged Metalworks, Island Metal Forge, Chaz Walker, Paul Orchard, let's see, Bar Run Forge, how you doing? Troy, what up? You like that video? That was a cool little bit. I didn't see the full edit, yet, but yeah, that was a fun one to do. Go ahead and shoot the link to the Discord or something, and we'll get it in the chat here. But yeah. Let me see. So yeah, my plan for this octopus is to heat up the whole body, to bend the arms, mainly to retain as much heat as possible, while I do it, so that any of the rosebud for the oxyacetylene is just keeping heat rather than heating it from cold. So, this may be a quick stream, like at or under an hour, because right after this morning's show, we were having our post show, and I was thinking, oh dang, we must be. I think we're having an Easter family dinner or something, something like that. And as I was setting up out here, I got a text from Jeannie. Are you going live today? Because so yeah. Hey Robert. So I'm going to do this, and it's basically setting myself up for the next stage. And what we did last week was stretch out some raw iron to cut up and use as the webbing. So that it's going to be a little bit of downtime on this project while I figure out the best step to go with that. I think that's as ready as it's going to be. So this is going to be tricky. I am going to take my time and be careful while also being as quick as I can to not waste heat. Because once I get those bent, there's no putting it back in any forge. This will be the last time this goes into a forge. Alright. Cut. I'm going to glove up. Actually, I'm going to put on an apron because who the heck knows what's going to happen with this. Yeah. Alright. And into the out, flip, into the vise, struggle and tighten. Alright, I've got my plan. And the most important part of that is struggle. I can't if I build the mother of all forges. Yeah, I suppose I could. You know, like if I turn my bonfire pit into a forge. Alright. Turn this down to not waste gas. Oh, that is warm. This is massive. I gotta get around here. See what I'm doing is I'm trying to make it all out and even. Holding heat a lot more than I thought it would. I think I gotta pull this one over. I can't get around the camera. Yeah, wow. Some of what I need to do is decorating a little bit of the inside, or rather cleaning it as well. Trying to think of what this is going to look like now that I have it like it. The webbing is going to pretty much, I haven't decided whether to cut it to slip it in middle of the let me get a pointer so I don't burn my fingers, you know, putting it directly in the middle here, cutting it like that, or putting it on the bottom so that from the top it's got the legs as a bump, or putting it on the top so that from the bottom the legs are a bump. I haven't decided yet. It doesn't matter realistically because octopi, the webbing like kind of does everything. It can be anywhere, you know. So I haven't quite decided exactly what I'm going to do. if I aim to be in the middle part, that will be less material. All right, let me get some measurements here. Pretty dang close. Alright. Now, where's my... That just went too quick. I really thought that I was going to have to struggle with this. Kind of putting a bit of detail of sorts into the beak. It is in no means the main focal point, but I don't want people to look at it and be like, wow, he just kind of just did it. If that makes any sense whatsoever. What I can do is get the torch out, heat that up, and then take and like just kind of drift it down a bit. Let's see where the chat's at. Yeah, you can see the beak. I will get a close-up of it. Yeah. The welds are holding. It is dangerous. Everybody's now realizing the size and scope of what this is going to be. I will get a zoom in up on the beak here in a minute. Yeah, I can shut the forge off. Sorry. So then I got to light a candle for my torch. Hey, Alan, what's up, Curiosity? Been a while. And yeah. Prepare for a skewered Yamez. That's why I put this apron on, was to avoid accidentally stepping into it and stabbing myself. Alright, so let me get a zoom in here on the beak. Let me kind of change the camera. Not change it, but move it. Because that is going to be primarily where I'm working. All right. Yeah, so another thing I got to try to do is clean that out, just so that I can show you guys that this isn't really working. You know, if I had an air hose set up and my air compressor was working, I could easily just go and clear it out. But I will be getting, you know, wire wheels and all that fun stuff to really clean this up. Not to mention, I still got to figure out how to put this thing into an acid bath once I'm fully done. Ah, my scale's popping. But this is going to be quite an amazing project, I think. Man, know this is a brass brush. Whoops, shaky cam. But it's all I got on me right here, right now. All right. I suppose I can move that so I'm not knocking the camera over left and right. Can you all see the beak all right? Let me get over here. Yeah, you guys can kind of see it. Let me see. You know, Bill, I was thinking, if anything is going to get me to buy a Dremel tool, or at least the multi-tool attachment for my for Ryobi, because I have a ton of Ryobi stuff, and the high efficient batteries. You know, like this project, I might as well get that, that micro attachment piece, and that way I can put it on and then work, clean it all up. But remember, this is going to have, I don't know if I really have any temporary triangle pieces, but these, or pieces of these, or both. I may use both, and depending. Closest thing I have to a triangle is this little piece, but for a example of what I'm talking about, there's this. Like cut these into triangles and then slip them in there for webbing. Okay. I wish I could have gotten this wrought iron. You guys can't see what I'm pointing at. I thought I was a lot closer. All right. So I wish I was able to get this wrought iron wider, because this is going to etch very beautifully and this is more refined. So I wish what I'm going to probably end up doing is cutting some decent triangles out of this, putting it in as the body, or as the webbing. That may only come out this far. I don't quite know if I like that or not. I'll have to cut triangles out of both pieces and see what I think looks best. But to do that, what I'm going to have to do is, this is really hot here, is measure, where's my pointer? Is do some measurements for all this to find out exactly what I need to do and cut, because I thought it was just going to be, equal triangles. It's not. They're very isosceles triangles. They're very acute, which is fine. It actually saves a bit more material that way, and very likely use the oxyacetylene to weld them in, so that I don't have electro weld beads. However, if I were to do that, that might actually look pretty cool. That might actually look pretty cool with, the wood grain wrought iron and then not etched shinier steel. Or not etched lines, kind of like veins. All right. Yeah, brassing the beak for the camera did kind of make it stand out a little bit, for sure. Let's see, a kiddie pool. You know what? A kiddie pool is a good idea. And they sell them for $4 or $5 or whatever at Dollar General. Just get a kiddie pool and like 10 gallons of vinegar, and then just leave it for weeks. I have never had any issues whatsoever with Ryobi stuff. Okay? Is that a crack in the leg on the bottom left side? Probably. There are a few cracks in it. it won't matter in the long run. And actually I have, let me see if I can slowly move the camera to show this. Wrong leg. I have this chewed up piece that's separated during the rounding process, and what I'm going to do with this arm is it's going to be kind of like, that's going to be what's like attacking the ship, and it'll be like battle damage. I might, you know, make some mini like harpoons or something and shove them in there. I don't know. I'll get creative. But let me see if I can't find a tape measure, which I think is actually in the house. And I wanted to get a measurement of how wide this is across. Because, dang, just stepping back and looking at it, this thing's massive. You know? Oh, under one of the plates. Okay. You're talking about right here? That looks like a small crack, yeah. That looks like a small crack, but it's, this spot is kind of already, it's not, I can, this leg, if I so choose, can just be a simple bend, and I don't have to overwork that, you know. I need at least 3 legs as, you know, for it to stand on, you know, and then, you know, to create a tripod kind of balance. At least one, I say legs, arms, at least one arm to be holding a ship, and then the other arms to be doing their own thing or attacking, you know, or holding other parts of the ship. Maybe it'll be, you know, I'll forge or fabricate 2 halves of a ship, and 2 arms will be holding them like close together or something, you know. But let me zoom out again so y'all can see the scope of this. You know, it's pretty massive. I'm thoroughly impressed. Let me see. I don't think I have a tape measure. I have a 2-foot yardstick here. And, alright, from the tip of this, or 2-foot, whatever, it is easily 5 foot across, okay, because this is 2 foot, and then if I go from, let me flop and fold, that's 4 foot. I can see the mark it is over there, holding it in my eyes. That's 13 inches. So just over a 5 foot arm span. Oh yeah, absolutely deranged. Absolutely, and thank you. But I will see all those little imperfections when I get a wire brush. I intend on bringing this down to bare steel, and honestly, what I may do is go get one of those kiddie pools and then bend all the arms at like kind of a 90 degree to make a circle, and then set it in the acid and do all of that before I shape them, to get that nice deep etch on the arms at least, and then I can use the heat to move it and bend it and shape it, and then it will only be little spot etchings where I need to repair any of that wood grain from marring it or whatever. Or I can use wood to, drill some holes in some 2x4s and use that to, kind of maneuver and shape. It's going to be some creative stuff. So, about 5 foot across with fully outstretched arms. 5 foot across. Absolutely, John. I have one set up right here, but I am going to need a new brush. Come on. I'm going to need a new brush because that one's a bit worn out. Stay. We already seen that. Actually got Speargrass to make his octopus for him secretly. Seen Speargrass's video on it yesterday. That's weird because Speargrass hasn't been doing, his shop isn't set up yet. Need a removals van. Now, see, once it's done being shaped, I anticipate it being about maybe 3 foot wide and a little bit more on the tall side. I think once it's done, it may be about 4 foot tall. So Ben might have to get up on a ladder to look at it. But yeah, I have my jellyfish statue over there. And I've got the little itty bitty octopus on it that I did. And that little itty bitty octopus can fit in my hand. That's not going to be... It's going to be wild. And like I said, for the body, I was thinking on the body of it again last night. And... I thought about rounding it out and trying to dome the head and make it so that it was all wrought iron one piece kind of thing. But in order to dome the head, I would need to have it would be kind of... For a small one, I can tap it with a ball peen. For this large one, I'm going to have to wail on it to move the mass around the body, which means it's going to mess up the legs. I am really more leaning towards a fabricated body. I can get a little bit more creative. Gotta up your game. No, this is definitely some roughshod shit here. There are so many inconsistencies with what I was hoping it would look like. I was hoping for a 6 foot span. I was hoping that the body was going to be, fully, enough mass that I could make a bulky octopus out of it. I was hoping I'd get more of, this, that's warm, get more of this plate, wider, but we'll see how it turns out, we'll see how it turns out. And for the record, I want to prepare you guys. It seems like y'all are thinking that this thing is going to remain massive. Again, you may see it and go, oh, that's not as big as I thought it was. It only looks very impressive right now because its arms are outstretched. But yeah, some of the arms are shorter than the others. Actually, I bet this one's 5 foot. This one might be 6 foot. I might have an extra, 6 inches on either side of this. Yeah, deranged. Speaking of whales, that famous scene, that famous imagery of a giant squid and a sperm whale, that was the original. How you say, inspiration for this project. Yet, squids have 2 tentacles and 8 arms. And the 2 tentacles are twice as long as the arms. So, I really wasn't looking forward to messing with that. Not to mention, forging out a very large sperm whale to go with it, So I opted for the idea of the Kraken and the ship. Maybe cut a little of the body from it and form it flat. That's a possibility. Because a lot of the body is going to be hidden. That's not a bad idea. Cutting off, a nice chunk, and even if I don't use it for this, heating it up and then pounding it flat into plate and then cutting triangles out of it. That's actually a really good idea. It's a lot of work, but that's a really good idea, And it would cut the weight down quite significantly. But yeah, let's this is still very hot. But I'm honestly extremely happy with that, with the angles that these ended up being, Now, if I were just doing an octopus and wasn't trying to make it monstrous and attacking a ship, I could curl the arms up a lot better and make, then the body would make sense being that small. But I kind of want it to be a bit more monstrous. Speaking of turkey leg, I did make a turkey leg a while back. Eat it. But damn, that went way too quick. But you guys can sort of see the vision a bit better now. Let me try and get it flipped around. Without stabbing myself. see that all right? I have to turn it like a wheel to get out. Reform the drumstick into a sperm whale for scale, right? What's up, Augie? Yeah, I'm beginning to like y'all's idea. What I'll probably do is get the dimensions of what the bowls are going to be. I'm not going to climb over there. And then cut this off about here, you know. And have all this, then I could take and heat that up in the coal forge a little bit easier. And hell, I could turn that into a, into a hammer, or compress it down and then draw it out to be that the webbing. Yeah. But yeah, this might be just the base, or just this. It would be tricky to cut, but a bandsaw ought to do it nicely. Yeah. Or a 7.5-inch angle grinder. Yeah, I'll get that figured out. Won't be too bad. Yeah, dude, definitely got to be careful of these arms, guys. I'm gonna get a picture of that. That's kind of massive. I like it. There we go. Yeah, sure. Let's actually, I have some bowls over here. So yeah, if I take that and it will go on like that, roughly, it will create all the necessary pieces, the shapes that the octopus body will have, and then I could weld it all up, polish it, heat it with a rosebud torch, and then texture it with a hammer, shape it so that it's nice and natural. Yeah, it won't etch like wood, but I can polish it and then use heat tempering to get color. But yeah. Once I get them welded together, trail duds, I will likely shape it, what I'll, get them cut, get the half square cut out of each one, and then weld them together with it so that it slips on. And then from there I can take and kind of heat it up separately and kind of shape it a bit, Get this off of there. Ow, I burned my finger. Alright. Right on, John. Alright. But yeah. Like I said, I said from the beginning I had a feeling this was going to be a quick one. It worked out a lot better than I thought it would. That the idea of heating up the whole body to preserve heat in the arms while I bent it and positioned them all into a nice radius. And the way I did that is, kind of they're straight on each other. Like all of them are pretty straight. So yeah, should be interesting. I just have a feeling though that this, I don't know how, once I'm done with this, what I'm going to do with it. I have interested buyers in the jellyfish, but they haven't hit me up again. This one may show some more interest. Who knows? But the trouble with making large things is you'll sit on them probably years until you find an interested buyer. A buyer to actually put in for it. Because this ain't something that I can bring to a flea market and let go for $25. And when people in this area go, oh wow, you want how much for that? Yeah, no, sorry. It's like cheapskates. But yeah. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. What's up, Michael? I know that song. 1, what comes after 1? 2, what comes after 2? 3, what comes after 3? 4! But yeah. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and call that a show. And I'm going to go and eat myself some food, and as much of it as I possibly can. Fatty's got to eat. So, yeah. Let me see. Y'all want to see, where's it at? There we go. Get the meat sweats. Absolutely. Well, there you go, Eric. You should rewind to the beginning of the show to catch the actual work. I will see you all next week. Thank you all for showing up. Happy Easter. Good night, Fire. Good night, coal. Good night, embers. Good night, glow. Good night, hammer. Good night, tongs in the rack. Good night, steel. From yellow to black. Anvil is quiet. Still as the tweer. Good night, blacksmiths. Everywhere. Y'all have a wonderful night. And I will see you next Sunday. Hey, there you go. Team effort. All right. Good night, guys. I saw that, John. I saw that. Nice. All right.